Hello, everyone. My name is Mr. Zach, and this is Hudson Public Library's preschool story time. Thank you so much for joining me. All right, so just like every week, we are going to get started with a few book talks here. Just going to recommend some books on this week's theme, which is dinosaurs. So I don't know about you, but I love dinosaurs. I think that they are so much fun. And so I'm going to get us started with a few books here. So, first up, we've got How Do Dinosaurs Say Goodnight by Jane Yolen and Mark Teague. So, this one is such a fun book. It has great illustrations of different dinosaurs going through their bedtime routines, like you can see here. So basically, it's saying, like, what does a dinosaur do to go to bed? Do they roar? Do they stamp their feet? I love this one. Do they want a piggyback ride? So just a really fun book. This is a great bedtime book as well. If you're looking for a bedtime book, then I would also recommend this one for that. But just really fun pictures. It's a really fun book to get into. All right, so we've got a new book here. We just got this one, and this one is called Dinosaur Feathers. And this one is by Dennis Nolan, and this one has amazing pictures in it. So if you were looking of some great pictures of different dinosaurs, this one is great. And this one is one of the most up-to-date ones. So if you're curious about the title, if you haven't been following along in the last few years about dinosaurs, most of the two-legged dinosaurs, the ones that stand on their hind legs, would have actually had feathers. So this has some of the updated pictures. So you can see like this beautiful one right here with all the feathers. And so you've got some pictures here that show all of the different dinosaurs. And so you can see some on here with feathers, some not on feathers, but this is what most of these pages are these great spreads of different pictures of dinosaurs. So if you've got a little one that loves dinosaurs, this is a fantastic book. It says the names of each of them on each of the pages, and there's going to be all of your favorites on here, plus some that you might not have heard of. So you can see a T-Rex right here, and yep, that is one of the ones with feathers, by the way. So just some really neat ones. And then it talks all about what the dinosaurs did, how they grew feathers, how you can see the, oh, this is one of my favorite ones on here. You can see that one is just absolutely covered in feathers. But wonderful, fun book. This one is on our new shelf right now, if you're watching this video while it's still fairly new. All right, we've got another new one on here, and this one is just an absolute treat. It is Library Books Are Not for Eating, and this is by Todd Tarpley, and it is just such a fun book. It's about Mrs. Bronte, or excuse me, Ms. Bronte, and she is working at the school, and she's their teacher, but then she's got a small problem of eating the library books. And it's just a really fun, silly book. It's got some great pictures in it here. Like you can see her eating the library books. So this is a really fun one to read out loud. So highly recommend that one as well. Plus, I just love the covers like this, where you can open it up. It's got the pictures, or the holes in the pictures, and then you can see them there like she had taken a bite out of this book. It's really fun. Alrighty, and so when you think about dinosaurs, a lot of times you think about what they eat. They're either the veggie eaters, the herbivores, or the meat eaters, the carnivores, and there are a few other different things, but those are the ones we mainly think about. And so this one is about a little bitty T-Rex and going off to school, and it's called We Don't Eat Our Classmates. And that is by Ryan T. Higgins, and this is a treat of a book. It's so much fun, and we actually now have a sequel to this one as well. So if you have already read this, I'd recommend taking a look at this. But it's just got really fun pictures. It's all about if you've got somebody who's starting up at school, this is a good beginning of school book, or if they are new to a school, or if they've got somebody new in their class who's a little bit different than everybody else, this is a good one to talk about, just talking about different things for that. It is a lot of fun, really fun pictures, just a really sweet book. Alrighty, so this next book, if you have a kid who really likes dinosaurs, that's good. But this is also a really good book for anybody who ever feels scared sometimes, which I know all of us do. So this one is called Dad and the Dinosaur, and this is by Jennifer Choldenko. And this one is all about a kid here, and this kid has a toy dinosaur, and it makes him feel strong and brave, but one day he loses it. And so it's all about reacting to that, and it's how his dad helps him out in that as well. So really fun book, um, just really unique illustrations in it too. Um, and also highly recommend this one. This is very good. All right, so I think this next one is really fun. If you are interested in dinosaurs and a little bit about paleontology and the study of dinosaurs, this one is great. It is called Boy, Were We Wrong About Dinosaurs, and that's by Kathleen V. And Kudinsky. I added a little bit extra onto that name there. And so this one is talks a little bit about what I talked about before, how now we're figuring out that a lot of dinosaurs had feathers, especially the ones that walked on 2 feet. But it also talks about how the history of dinosaurs, we used to think that they were different than we thought. So the name dinosaur means terrible lizard. And so people actually used to think that dinosaurs were a lot more like reptiles, like lizards and snakes, things like that they were cold-blooded and slow. But now we're finding out that they're a lot more like their descendants, which are birds. And so this talks a little bit about that. And so it's got these fun illustrations talking about the history of paleontology, studying this, and some of the times that they were wrong. There are just some fun things in here about how we understand what we do about dinosaurs, what we still don't understand, and about how we're still making some discoveries. And I think this one actually came out probably just a tiny, yeah, this one came out before we even discovered an intact feather. We have actually found a piece of dinosaur feather in a piece of amber. So if you've ever seen Jurassic Park, I know that's too scary of a movie for the little ones most of the time, so they might not have seen that one, but the big people watching this. But really fun book there. All right, so I think one of the coolest things about dinosaurs is just thinking about imagining them in our world and thinking about how big they were. And so this one is perfect for that. This one is How Big Were Dinosaurs? And this is by Lita Judge. And this one has pictures of dinosaurs kind of interacting with us in our world. So you've got things like a velociraptor being walked on a dog leash with a dog right there, or you've got things like a stegosaurus standing over some cows. So it gives you a really good idea of how big they actually were. This is a really fun book to read together, and then you could even turn the page and ask, oh, the next one is a Torosaurus. How big do you think that one is? And then you could ask. So this one is really fun. There are some of your favorite dinosaurs in here, a few new ones that you might not have known about. Of course, it's got a T-Rex in it. I feel like you've always got to have a T-Rex. So lots of really good books there. So that is it for my recommendations for that. So now let's get started with the main part of the show. Hello, hello to you and you and you. Hello, hello to you and you and you. A big hello, a small hello, a hi hello, 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 hello to you and you and you. All right, so thank you everyone for joining me. I know some people like to skip just to this part, and some people mostly like to watch the beginning part, so that's fine either way what you do. All right, so you might know I've got my magic die that always tells us what kind of movement we need to do. But because it's dinosaurs, I figured I'd switch up the activities, and they are all dinosaur themed. So I've got a whole new list, and I'm going to roll this because we need to get a little bit of movement in here. I've been sitting for a little too long. So let's see what we've got. All right, so I rolled a 3. 1, 2, 3. And the activity for that is flap like a pteranodon. All right, so we're gonna get up. All right, so a pteranodon. So here's the secret, it's not really a dinosaur, but it lived when they did, so we're gonna count it for this. So they're the big flying ones. So we're going to flap our wings like they would fly in the sky. So just like a bird flapping your wings, you can do that. But just imagine that. Just get a little bit of movement in with your arms. Imagine you're flying through the sky. Or you could do some of these bigger ones like pteranodon, probably soared. If you think like an eagle, you can do that too. And flap your wings every once in a while. Whatever you want to do, that is fine with me. But I think it's fun to imagine you're flying sometimes. All right, we're gonna come in for landing here, and I think we're good for that. All right, so this month, the whole month, you might have noticed there are different animal themes. So I've got an animal themed finger play starting with a bird. So if you haven't done a finger play before, that is just you'll follow along with what I do with my hands. I'm going to say it a few times so that you can follow along with me. So I think you'll pick it up with me. So here is a nest for robin. So make your hands in the shape of a nest. Here is a hive for a bee. So put your hands together like this. Here is a hole for bunny. So you can see right through the hole there. And here is a house for me. So make like a roof shape here. You can even put it over your head so you can pretend you're in your house. All right, so let's do that again, but a little bit faster. Here is a nest for robin. Here is a hive for bee. Here is a hole for bunny. And here is a house for me. All right, we're gonna do that one more time, keeping at that same speed. Let's go. Here is a nest for robin. Here is a hive for bee. Here is a hole for bunny. And here is a house for me. All right, great job, everyone. I'm gonna grab a drink of water here. All right, let's get some more movement in. I wanna get a good use out of my list of dinosaur things because they're really fun. Okay, this is a fun one. So we're gonna run like a velociraptor. So make sure you're doing this safe. If you don't have anywhere to run, then you can always run in place, but we're gonna get up here. And if you want, you can just run back and forth. Whatever you have space for, that's fine. If you've got other people around you and other stuff, make sure you're not running into things, so watch where you're going, but you can just have fun with this. So let's run around here. So you can run, 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 run. 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 Okay. I know I'm being goofy now, so I think that's good. All right, so velociraptors were really fast dinosaurs, so that's why I picked that one. All right, so now I've got an activity for us to do together. All right, so to follow along with this, you're gonna need a few different things. All right, so you're gonna need a box. I've got one here. A cereal box would work fine. You just need it to be big enough. So you're also going to need some string or some twine or some yarn. You're gonna need a marker, Now, if you don't have a marker, then a pencil should work for this, but it's going to be easier to see with a marker. And then you're going to want to ask an adult to help you with cutting it out. So I've got some scissors right here. All right, so we are going to be making some dinosaur feet. So the reason you need a big enough box is it needs to be bigger than your feet. All right, so that should be pretty easy for me here. So you're going to want to put your feet up to the box, and you're going to want to make your dinosaur feet at least as big as your feet. Now, if you want really big ones, you can, but they just need to be big enough. So I'm going to make a mark with my shoes on there. So there and there. So I made a mark here and here for this, and this one might be a little bit hard for the young ones to do. So parents, you're probably going to have to help with this one, but I think when you're done with it, it's going to be a really fun one to make. All right, so I'm just going to be making one of these to show you, but it's probably best if you make two so you can have one for each foot. So I marked it on here so I know it's going to be at least that big, so it's bigger than my feet. All right, and then we're going to see your amazing artistic skills. So there are different dinosaurs with different kinds of feet. So if you wanted to do one like a brontosaurus, you could have it be more rounded feet with just kind of large round toes. But I'm thinking I want to have feet that are more like a T-Rex's, something like the big carnivores. I think that would be fun. So let's see here. I'm going to do and I've got to give it some claws at the end. I didn't make that quite sharp enough. So I drew, I don't know how well you can see that on there, an outline of my dinosaur foot. And then we're going to cut it out. Now, if you have something thinner like a cereal box, it's going to be easier to cut out than what I made for mine here. But I think we can make this work either way. All right. So we're going to get this cut out here. I'm going to pause the video so you don't have to listen to me cutting it this whole time. Hold on here. All right, so now you can see I've got my big dinosaur foot cut out right here. Look at these nice claws that it's got. So you can tell mine's not totally even. If yours isn't, that is perfectly fine. All right, so then what you're going to want to do is poke a hole in either side. And remember, when you're working with scissors, this is going to be something that you'll need the big people to do. So poking a hole in each side. There we go. I messed it up on that side, but that's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. There we go. All right, so you can see now there's a hole right here and a hole right there. That was my first hole, and I accidentally cut it all the way out to the edge. So you wanted to do it not up here where the toes are, but more down here on the base of the foot. All right, so then this is where your yarn comes in. You're going to want to get a length of this to tie it. So you're going to be able to tie this right to your feet so that you'll be able to stomp around like that dinosaur you are pretending to be. So cut out a length. It's definitely going to need to be longer than the distance between these holes here. And then you're going to feed it through the holes, which I'm going to use my scissors to push the string that I've got through. But if you got a pen or something like that, that should work as well. So now it's on that end. So I'm going to tie it in a knot so that it doesn't come out. You'll want to make sure to tie it whatever kind of knot you use in a big enough knot that it's not going to slip back through there. So you might need to tie it a couple times. But look at that. And then we're going to do it on the other side as well. Feed it through the hole here. All right, there's the string. All right, so I'm going to use my foot to see how big that needs to be. I'm going to pull that string so it's tight on my foot. You don't want this to be too loose, otherwise it'll just slip off. Well, I've got it there. And I'm actually just going to tie it on like that. And I'll show you another alternative to doing it that way. All right, I gotta get this pushed through there again. Now, an alternative to tying it on both sides is getting it around your foot. Let's see if I can show you this. Like that, so that you've got it over each side, and then you can just pull it with your hands like this. All right, so now you can see I am holding this, and if you wanted to make it a long string, you could even make it so that you could hold onto this while you're standing up, so that then you can just hold it onto your feet. Now I can go and stomp around, even in the snow, with this. All right, so it was a little hard to see, but basically what I did was, you've got a loop around here like this, and then the string goes through the back on each side, and then you hold it on each end like that. And if you do a long string, you'll actually be able to hold it on your feet. So you can make 2 of these, and then you could stomp around in the snow and make dinosaur tracks. So, alrighty, I hope you enjoyed doing that craft with me. So before we go, I think we need to get one more little movement in here. So, moving my box out of the way so I don't trip over it. Let's see what we get. All right, we already got that one. That was another 5. So let's do, that was a 3 again. I think we need to do one more. All right, so we got 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that one is swim like a Spinosaurus. All right, so if you don't know what a Spinosaurus is, that is fine. But you're gonna pretend to swim. All right, so the funny thing is that actually just a few days ago, there was a big report on what Spinosaurus actually was like, and now they say that it was sort of like a giant stork, which sounds pretty cool to me, but also a little scary. So, pretend that you're wading through the water, and you can go swimming. So, let's swim across right here. How do you like to pretend to swim? If you were going to pretend to swim, what kind of swimming would you do? Like doing one of these? That's probably not what a Spinosaurus would do, but you can pretend if you want. Now this is if you're swimming underwater. So a Spinosaurus had really big legs, so it would probably kick, but it's kind of hard for me to pretend to do that. So I'm going to pretend more with my arms. All right, so let's pretend we're swimming underwater or over water, whatever you want to do. How do you like to swim? Do you know how to swim yet? I think swimming is so much fun. All right, so let's swim around just a little bit more here. You could even pretend that you're swimming like a stork if you want to. I think they move with their big legs wading over the water, but I think this is just a fun way to pretend to swim. All right, so I think that's good for today. So thank you everyone so much for joining me. Now the next couple weeks, I'm going to be talking about dogs and cats, kittens and puppies. So We're going to talk about those. I think it's going to be a really fun time. So thank you everyone so much for joining me today, and bye-bye.